I've had a very exhausting week. You know, I'm just down to the last few pages of my autobiography. And yesterday we had that giant shipment of goodies arrive from London, which we called Christmas in February. But today I decided to be a vegetable. And we are live, anything goes. And today, friends, you're going to see the CEO sleeping. We'll have Vijay from Australia, and from Melbourne, and he will pick up the slack. We've had a very successful month of February, and I think everyone's feeling like, what the hell, it's the last few hours snooze in. I certainly could, if that is your opinion on the matter, it is certainly mine. Vijay has been away for us a while, and you came back. Would you like to tell us, you obviously missed us desperately, of course.
Okay, sir. First of all, I'd like to thank Howard Matter for being here for the last 2 hours. Howard, thank you for all the time, for giving it to the community, and we have a good day. And folks, as Dr. Lant has introduced, my name is Vijay, and I've been a Worldprofit for the last couple of years. I believe I'm running into the 4th year now. And
first of all, let's ask you about your name. I have never seen the name Vijay before. Is it a common name in your neck of the woods, or is it reasonably rare? Or was it made up for you?
It is a common name in South India, but this is something my parents given to me. My name, meaning behind my name is victory. That's what this Vijay means.
Well, isn't that helpful when you get going on your projects?
Exactly.
Would you like to hear how I got my name?
Talk about
my name.
Yes, sir.
In 1946, my mother was engaged to my father, and she was a member of a sorority, and they had a party for her. And as girls would do at the time, and they made a number of jokes, which was the purpose of these showers, they were called. Anyway, they decided that my mother's name, her middle surname, Lant, L-A-N-T, would be mispronounced as Lamp, L-A-M-P. So they had a number of games around Lamp, which was my mother's name. Well, they named my brother Electric Lamp, and whose nickname is Les. They named my sister Incandescent, and she would have been called Candy. And they named me Aladdin after the most popular movie at the time. And so my name technically is Aladdin, which was shortened to Lad, which is what I was called till I was about 16 or 17, and I finally had to put my foot down and said, my name's Jeffrey. But technically, you could call me Aladdin. Not Aladdin, that's the English pronunciation. Aladdin, of course, is the Arabic. So you have what parents do to their children by mangling their names. There ought to be a law. We want to speak to Clifford Blake from Canada. Cliff, if you don't speak to us, we cannot help you. We're going to bring in every person into this community. One of the things that's happened since Vijay was away is we have done, and I want you to click on this, Vijay, the D7 key. The D7 key.
Yes, sir. Yes,
it's a dark indigo blue. I like to say it's purple. Once you bring it on the screen.
That is D7?
That is it. Now, what we are, as I studied the situation of what's happening around the world, I came to the conclusion that as per the United States foreign policy and the foreign policy of Western Europe, we're all tilting to the east. So the region where Vijay grew up is way more important to us than when he was growing up. Now the east is where it's at. And so we tilted the company to the east. Also to Africa, South America, etc. We call ourselves a supranational organization, meaning that we are not of a particular country. We're registered in Canada, but our business is universal. And the thing that makes us unique is that we can set you up an international business within the next few minutes. Nobody can do this. We've spent over 20 years perfecting this. When people come here and they say they're in Kansas, I say, Kansas City is a dot in the ocean of the world. You need to make your money worldwide. And then when we're talking to people from countries like Ghana, as we were yesterday, or Togo or Cameroon, these people are desperate for money, and they're desperate for U.S. dollars. The dollar is what's holding the whole shebang together. You know, we pay in dollars, and that doesn't get any better than that. So we have Dmitry Sumin from the Russian Federation. His currency, the ruble, is shot to hell. It's crashing. It's been crashing over the last several months. He needs money. He needs to be paid in U.S. dollars, and he has to talk to us. That's what the super partner is. But we have exactly what he wants, including the currency in which he wants it, and he's not here to talk to us about it. And good day to Lisa and Martinique. I'm going to ask Vivian for a big favor. Lisa has been following the reading of my book from the get-go. I'd like her to read down to words real close to the end. So Lisa, if you mean say so, otherwise can you come up for 10 minutes? Now see, Vivian didn't really like to read to begin with. But Vivian, since she'd been away, many people who were opposed to reading have swung to my direction.
All right.
But don't go yet. She hasn't said yes. I've asked, and if it's not convenient, I want you to tell me. If it's not convenient for you, Lisa, just say. But I do have some more of the fast one. I only have just to write. You let me know. No, not for future reference, for today or now. You let me know, but don't hold it against your vest for 2 minutes. Very well.
That's good.
We've learned so much about communication. This whole, my autobiography has proven to be a touchstone book. For those of you that don't know who I am, you can go to google.com and type in Jeffrey Lant. But much more important, I invented a new format. We're inventing new things for the internet all the time at Worldprofit. It's something that we do constantly. Technical things through George Kosh's department and communications devices through mine. We've learned, for example, that a book can be written in front of people who all have a say. You can't imagine how many people have read this book as I've been writing it and have had their say about what's in it, good, bad, and indifferent. The discussions have been profound, often terribly funny, and daily. Not a day has gone by that I haven't added something long or short to this text. It's been going on now for the better part of a year. It will be, at least the main text will be finished in winter, and I start working on that table of contents and all this drags that need to be done that only the author can do.
Mm-hmm.
And we're waiting for Lisa Martin to come up. Another thing that's been unique about this book is the musical cues. There are over 300 musical cues built into the text. This is a highly musical, and in this format has never been done before, much less done live on the air. Also, I've had teams of people supporting me, the writers' team, the people who have gone out of their way to assist me. I couldn't have written this book so quickly. I might have written this book, but not so fast. And she says, okay, so if you wouldn't mind going on, but don't go away, because we're doing this so you will learn. Lisa's coming up for a few minutes.
Okay. Good day, and welcome back, Vivian. It is great to see you back. Good day, Dr. Lant.
I find this section that I'm about to read for you very difficult to read. I've chosen one of my favorite songs to appear in chapter 12. And I suggest you all click on the link and get into the spirit. This song is called Drifting. It is the theme song, Grant, Maine, 1955. I was 8. I was hooked.
Okay, challenged by these notes, I am better, purified, and my soul now burdened by 68 summers soars again, with panache yet again, and I know alone. This must be God's will, and not just the workings of blind chance. This soothes me, though seed of belief was always there. And so I stand before the world and hope that history does not obliterate me and leave me to ashes, dust to dust as my puny legacy. My eye catches a dozen vibrant red roses, lovelier now than my birthday just the other day. For now they are determined to give the last, the best of themselves, and their valiant aspiration touches the heart, to remind me that the truest beauty comes against the greatest odds. When every gesture counts, yet may be futile and unproductive. Yet we must unstintingly of our best as these dying roses do for me this day. These roses are the gift of a courageous lady and her beau cavalier. Loyal, loving, must have demons of his own, though he gives us as his unique gift the secret of iron discretion. Hope against hope, and hope dwindles, but will not die. Elizabeth and David English, fellow comrades in life's exacting exercises, she a puff of dandelion seed, he her faithful gardener, each a friend, the highest reward anyone can give, the highest reward anyone can accept. It is at this conjunction of mutual regard that fraternity is born, and I am the better for it, as I know so very well. Consider the events surrounding the Boston Marathon assassinations of April 2013. I did not want to write anything on this outrage, a work of cowards, swaggering and pitiless, butchers, whose infernal devices caused a great nation, the very greatest nation, to weep and rage, revenge on every lip and in every heart. His name was Martin, and he was just 8, full of crazy dreams and innocent mischief, a world-changing phenomenon who little knew that day what all the world could already see, that his dazzling smile, unsullied yet, was worth 100 strident declarations. That smile was his gift to mankind, along with his uplifting posters, vying with their multitude of colors for your eye, your attention, and your friendship. For he had already given you, he was the first to die, mangled by common items found in any hardware store, the tool of death. I had persuaded myself that I didn't need to write about this incident of deep malice of forethought. Many others were eager and willing to tell this tale. And so I, the ostrich with head in sand, went to bed, sleeping more soundly than I would for weeks to come. For of course there was no need from responsibility. It is our birthright and privilege. And so the phone rang, magnified in my sleep, which would soon turn nightmares, needing my first and growing attention. I had just been recruited, and recruited I would serve. The call was from CNN in Winnipeg, Canada. They were informed that I was a well-known commentator who happened to live and work inside the perimeter, marked off by the myriad of government and military authorities. The horde of journalists were outside this perimeter. I, however, was inside. Timing is everything. Are you available to broadcast? When? Now. And so within a single minute, I was on air. Like Marilyn Monroe, I had nothing on but the radio. Penny stiffest, Dr. Lynn. I am no point in being coy. Good media. Thus, I commented, I returned to comment some more. All was well, except that I needed, as every commentator needs, an unending flow of pertinent, up-to-date data. Here is where Elizabeth English entered the picture and performed your service. She got all the people in Worldprofit's Live Business Center to cover the local media in their areas, while she monitored the alphabet of media titans: ABC, NBC, CBS, of course, CNN. Thus she worked as my diligent lieutenant, feeding me the latest information so that my commentaries were on the cutting edge I needed. She provided, and so we worked long, engrossing hours, which are the pride of my life, and I believe others. Then there it was, in the grass just outside my residence, not merely an assortment of police and fully armed military, but in my cozy neighborhood, Cambridge Common Island, Harvard Law School, the very touchstone of due process and the rule of law on the other, and the tank, with turret pointed towards Harvard College and Veritas. And I sobbed. I was 9 years old, and the resolute picture in my mind was of a freedom fighter in Budapest, Molotov cocktail in hand, heaving it toward a Soviet tank, the armament of oppression and anguish. It all came back this soft April evening when our serenity died in the peaceful homes while fair Harvard wept for all we had lost, all that would never come again. Later, CNN told me over 1 billion people worldwide had listened to my comments, raw, unrehearsed, honest. I am not a humble man, but this undoubted fact humbled me. I couldn't have done it without Elizabeth English, whose spirit is indomitable, whose irreverent wisecracks rattle mine, and who defines the word grace for a world in sore need of it. I am playing Gershwin. Our love is here to stay. Together, we're going a long, you betcha. And what of the person who handed me to CNN in the first place? For months, no one knew the name of my erstwhile benefactor, but at last I had it. Larry Spagman, a Worldprofit customer from Canada. At last, I was able to thank him. He is always welcome in my home once the words went out in those troubled days to a world avid, grateful to hear my unvarnished sentiments. You have the appreciation of a prince. It is 2:27 a.m., and I am just a handful of hours away from the delivery long time coming of over 20 of my carefully said, ardently desired treasures from Vienna, Paris, Amsterdam, London. I am as anxious as a schoolboy to get his first pony. It will all be wet-house from the Blue Room, each dazzling piece the object of spontaneous remarks by their conservator, Roddy McVitie from Kent and me. Call this Christmas in February, and this may well be the last of them. Even I have to acknowledge my acute lack of further space. But for today, amazement and opulence. Le Pincel Belt. The representative from Bonhams in London must have thought she was dealing with Methuselah when she called, for I was deep in the brown study where I spin my tail. Even to me, I sounded old as the hills and incoherent. What all the clarity I could muster. Sir, are you bidding on lot 53? Her question verging on the exasperation all seniors seem to provoke. Lot 53. Lot 53? What? Perhaps the exasperation was warranted.
Thank you. I'll read it.
Yes. Certainly does.
Since it's a universal problem, I give you the universal view of it. Only the location and particulars differ from place to place. The picture remains the same. Well, this evening, I intend to be up here scribbling away, moving through what I need to finish in this chapter. If any of you have come to write an autobiography, you'll understand that it is the most challenging thing you'll ever do in your life. Because you have to be honest with yourself, which is always the most difficult thing, because we can always persuade ourselves anything. And it has to be about interested people. It has to be about them as much as, if not more than you. Any comment? Comment, Les?
That was tough to read.
Every time I think of Martin, I think of complete and utter waste, stupidity. Just the plain. Because it happens so often is you take those alternative brothers, you add 40 years to their life, and now they're sorry, and they can understand. They can understand how they did it, and why and the boys did. I mean, I wish people think before they do these horrendous things. Are they really going to be important in any way, shape, or form? Is it really worth the effort, the catastrophe, the misery? Is it really worth the selfishness? Of course, almost nothing is worth that. Well, I'd like to speak to all those extra hello from Algeria, Dimitri from Suman, James Jones from the United States, Patrick Wallace from the United States. Well, should I send you back to the pond?
Send me back to the pond. Certainly. Thank you, Dr. Lant.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you coming up. And Bridget, you see, what I'm doing, practice makes perfect. Looking to speak to Patrick Wallace, Dimitri Suman. Patrick, you need to click on the green box and watch the video. Dimitri, the same. If you don't watch the video, folks, we can't help you here.
Thank you, Liz. Nice.
Yes, she's come a long way in her reading. Dimitri, we're going to remove you in 1 minute. Dimitri, to be removed in 1 minute. Sometimes this prose is so raw, I can't read it. I can write it, I can get through it, but I can't read it. It's just too raw. This is a section of that was that raw. I think when I walked outside in the April evening and I saw that tank on the front grass, it was just horrific. Never did I expect to have a tank in my front yard, period, much less at home. It was just inconceivable. But it's very important that people not put their head in the sand about that, and recognize that these things happen everywhere now.
Very cool.